All right, well, noting the time, we're just going to go ahead and start our presentation today. First and foremost, happy Earth Day as I'm reading the messages to everyone. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. We just celebrated our Arbor Day, so it's a great week, really, to engage in this discussion regarding sustainability in the city of Alhambra. My name is Lucy Garcia. I'm the Assistant City Manager. I'm joined today by Katie Martell, who is the city's sustainability analyst, and Environmental Science and Associates, our consultant on this particular project. I want to thank you for joining us today and for engaging in this valuable exercise and discussion regarding the draft plan. We really value the input we receive from the community. And as you know from our development process, it's been an ongoing effort on our part to make sure that we're gathering important information and feedback from the community in regard to all of the different elements that we've addressed in the environmental plan. So we're going to go through a few things today, including what our framework for the plan consists of. But more importantly, we want to be able to direct you to the different action items that are contained under the plan, and really how you can provide feedback, not just today, but at any other time throughout the duration of this process. We do have our public comment period going on for a few more days, and certainly folks will have continuous opportunity to have additional thoughts, if you will, that perhaps may didn't resonate today, but perhaps something that comes up later that you want to share with us, that would be great. So enough of me. Why don't I introduce you to the Environmental Science Associates who will basically deliberate on all of these components, and then we'll wrap up with you, of course, throughout our process. Amanda, take it away.
Hello and happy Earth Day. Thank you for attending today's meeting to learn more about the city's Sustainable Alhambra plan and to learn more about how you can get involved. As Lucy mentioned, I'm going to start with a bit of kind of just background on the plan, walk you through the purpose, key findings, and how community input so far has shaped the framework of this plan. And then I will walk you through how to provide feedback and review the full plan on the website. And then, of course, we'll open up for questions as well. So this plan is intended to provide a clear, actionable roadmap to improve environmental quality, strengthen resilience, and support long-term community and economic sustainability. It is intentionally designed to be flexible with a broad set of actions that allow the city to advance implementation over time as funding, partnerships, and priorities evolve. To begin, I'll start with why this plan is needed at this time. There are four primary reasons why this plan is both timely and necessary. First, climate urgency. The city is already experiencing increased heat, air quality concerns, and other climate-related impacts that require proactive planning. Second, equity. Sustainability investments present an opportunity to address disparities and ensure all residents benefit from improvements. Third, economic benefits. Many sustainability actions reduce long-term costs, support local businesses, and position the city competitively for funding. And finally, community readiness. Through outreach, it is clear that residents and stakeholders are engaged and supportive for sustainability initiatives. With that context, we have grounded the plan in a clear vision for the future. The plan is guided by a vision for a sustainable Alhambra that advances 6 core outcomes. These include creating a healthy environment, fostering social equity and inclusion, enhancing economic vitality, and building climate resilience. It also emphasizes promoting a culture of sustainability and ensuring the city leads by example through its own operations. Together, these elements establish a comprehensive and balanced framework that integrates environmental, social, and economic priorities. To understand how this vision translates locally, it is important to recognize the specific challenges facing Alhambra. The city faces a range of environmental challenges that are already affecting residents today and are predicted to intensify over time. These include extreme heat and air pollution, as well as wildfire smoke impacts that affect regional air quality. Water-related issues are also significant, including drought conditions, increased risk of extreme storms, and localized flooding. These challenges inform both the structure and priorities of the plan. In addition to environmental conditions, the plan also considers key community characteristics. Alhambra is a diverse and dynamic community of over 82,000 residents and approximately 30,000 households. From a planning perspective, several characteristics are especially important. The city includes a high proportion of renters, linguistically diverse households, seniors, children, low-income households, and residents without health insurance, all of whom may be more vulnerable to environmental and economic stressors. These characteristics underscore the importance of equity-focused strategies and accessible program design. And together, these factors shape the planning process, which I will outline here. The planning process has followed 6 key phases. The effort began with initiation and alignment with city priorities, followed by extensive community engagement. The team then conducted technical analysis to understand existing conditions and opportunities, which informed the development and refinement of strategies. At this stage that we're currently in, the draft plan has been prepared and released for public review. And then following this phase, the plan will be finalized and brought forward for adoption, with implementation and ongoing updates to follow. A central component of this process, though, as I mentioned, was community engagement. The engagement process reached over 700 community members so far through a variety of formats. This included workshops, stakeholder discussions, town halls, as well as pop-up events and questionnaires. The city also engaged advisory bodies, including the Environmental Sustainability Commission. And this multi-channel approach helped ensure broad participation and input across different segments of the community. From this outreach, several consistent themes emerged. Residents expressed strong interest in increasing trees, shade, and green spaces to address heat. Water conservation, including rainwater capture and efficiency, was also a major theme, as well as a strong interest in community gardens, composting, and local food access. More broadly, residents emphasize practical neighborhood scale improvements that can be visible, accessible, and cost-effective to the community. These priorities were heard loud and clear and directly informed the strategies and actions of this plan. The plan is structured from these high-level themes down to specific actions. Across the plan are 3 overreaching themes, 9 sectors, and corresponding goals, strategies, and actions. Each level builds on the previous one, ensuring that high-level direction is clearly tied to implementable steps. This structure is designed to support accountability, tracking, and measurable outcomes. As mentioned previously, the plan is organized around 3 primary themes, all of which were formed from the previous community input. The first focuses on improving quality of life, including areas such as green space, food, mobility, and community culture. The second addresses climate resilience, including energy, water, and air quality. The third focuses on economic sustainability, including the green economy and waste reduction. Together, these themes and sectors provided a comprehensive framework that integrates environmental, social equity, and economic objectives, which are the 3 E's of sustainability. The following slides will provide an example of the layout of just one of the sectors in the plan, but all of the other sectors follow the same structure, providing that consistency across the document. Each theme starts off with the key focus areas or sectors, which will be included, as well as the community benefits for each theme. Then we'll move into each of the sectors, for example, green space, where we'll start off with how is Alhambra doing, showing that baseline data and context, where the city is today, and highlight some of its recent accomplishments. From there, we ground each sector in where we want to be with goals, strategies, and actions. Each strategy is also grounded with a measurable target objective and a baseline so that we're able to tangibly track our progress along the way. We then provide a full page infographic in each sector showing kind of call to action of how members of the community can get involved. And lastly, we highlight a community spotlight that does a great job of exemplifying what success looks like in each sector. For example, in this case, Albancer Park, where we in 1950 turned a former landfill into what's now today one of Alhambra's largest green spaces. Then once we ground the plan in these strategy, goals, and actions, we move towards implementation. This includes identifying responsible parties, potential funding sources, and timelines. Not all actions will happen at once. Implementation is intended to be phased and coordinated over time. And the goal is to provide a roadmap that is realistic, flexible, and actionable. Because as mentioned before, the goal is to kind of, even though we have 175 actions, it's meant to kind of provide the flexibility of where funding and support is able to be provided in the future. An important part of this is the tracking progress. This plan includes a framework of monitoring progress over time, including tracking key indicators, updating data, and reporting on implementation. This ensures that accountability and allows the city to adjust strategies as needed. It also helps demonstrate progress to the community and funding partners. And now I'll leave us with next steps. As mentioned before, we're currently in the public review period. We've already done the in-person workshop, and now this is, of course, the virtual one. We're aiming for plan adoption in summer of this year. And on the website, we will keep updates on not only the current progress up to adoption, but then afterwards as well of the progress throughout. I do want to take a moment to kind of walk us through how to navigate this website. So let me see if I can move this over. So once you go to the Alhambra Sustainability website, you will be able to see that you can read through the full plan. Obviously, I was only able to give a highlight at this point, but we would really love for each person to kind of go in and really take a look, and that way they can kind of hone in and focus on the areas that are most important or relevant to you. And then we really encourage that everyone then goes and provides comments in our online comment forum. I can't see that. Let's see if I can put it this way. Okay, so that once you get to the forum, this is what it will look like. You'll be able to provide your information, what kind of action you would like to discuss, which chapter it's in, 1, 2, or if it's one of the sectors in chapter 3, you can specify that. And chapter 4 is implementation. And then you can also specify a page number if relevant. And then from here, you can provide your comments or suggestions on actions or strategies. And I think it's really important to note that you can submit as many of these as you would like. We actually encourage that you submit separate ones based on, say, if you had a comment on the food sector and then you have a separate comment on mobility, we actually would prefer that they were submitted separately for organization, but also feel free to submit them all at once if that's easier for you. As you review the plan and provide feedback, I do want to briefly revisit how it is structured. As mentioned earlier, the plan is intentionally broad and flexible with a wide range of actions. This is designed so that the city can move implementation forward over time as funding, partnership, and priorities evolve. These actions were developed directly from community input that we have gathered throughout the process so far. And at this stage, we're not exactly asking you to start from scratch, but instead we are asking if you could help us confirm and refine what is already there. Specifically, we're looking for feedback on whether the plan reflects the priorities and ideas you've shared, or if you didn't have a chance previously to provide that now. We also would like to hear if there's anything important that is missing and any input on the actions themselves, including clarity, feasibility, or additional considerations. And that way, this feedback will help ensure that the final plan is complete, accurate, and as aligned with community priorities as possible before adoption.